Hi, Steph. It's Rob Parker here. Um, Thanks very much for your questions. And I know you told me to pick five, so I've done sort of a video hit list of all of them. I hope that's all right. Um, anyway, thanks very much. Here we go. Okay, if you had to choose only one of your novels to best represent yourself as an author, which one would it be and why? I'm going to go with the one that we're talking about right now, which is Crook's Hollow, which is the one that you read for me maybe 18 months ago, Steph. I think I picked this one because it's serene and almost passive on the outside, but deep down there is something very, very dark going on. And as much as I kind of like to think I'm not capable of that, I know that however serene I am on the outside personally, I have to be honest and admit with myself that now I am capable of writing some pretty dark things, and yeah, I'm going to have to be big and brave and admit that. So yeah, Crook's Hollow would be the one that best embodies me, I think. Question two: has the publishing industry ever made you cry? What did you learn from the experience? I don't think it's never made me cry like tears of sadness or anything like that. Rejection is very much part and part of the whole writing deal. I mean, it's going to happen regardless of who you are. We all get bad reviews, we all get bad comments, you all get crises of confidence. But no, I think I've had a tear in my eye when I've been really happy. So when I first got the first deal for A Wanted Man, which was the first Ben Bracken book in the Ben Bracken series with Endeavour Media, that was such a happy moment. So I think maybe there was like it's finally something's finally happening, because by that point there'd been like I stopped counting at 250 rejections, and you thought it was never going to happen, and there are times when you think of giving up, but never really or anything, but. So yeah, I'd say possibly one silent, solitary tear of happiness. Question three: what do you tell yourself when you begin to doubt yourself as a writer, and how often do you doubt yourself? I think every writer, as I just said, struggles from time to time with doubts, and you think, "Oh my word, I'll never manage it. I'll never amount to anything," and you do question yourself, but this isn't unique to one person, one writer, or anything like that. I think every writer has a day like that. So I think I can't remember the question now. What was it? Oh yes, how often do I doubt myself? I'm going to say rarely, because 250 rejections, like I said, that kind of gives you a bit of a backbone. And now, I acknowledge fully that people aren't going to like everything, so I just go for it anyway, and I go with my gut. It sometimes goes right, sometimes doesn't go right, but at least I'm giving it my best. So yeah, 100% self-belief, but yeah, occasionally the doubts do rear their ugly heads. Question four: what is the first book you ever read that you threw across the room? I'm not really. I'm not really one to respond too negatively to books, because I think all writers will acknowledge the sheer marathon style effort that it is to write a novel. So I always respect the effort and craft that's gone into it, regardless of how I feel about the outcome. So it's very rare that I'll be, angry enough to chuck it across a room. But that said, there was one recently that really did grind my gears, because I've got three young children, two of whom are little girls, and I'm trying to raise them to be bold as anything, take life by the scruff of the neck, and just go for it every single day, and don't take no for an answer. And if you want it, you can go out there and get it. And so, consequently, now it really, really winds me up when I come across female characters in books that are either really underwritten to the point of like placeholder, or do things that are completely subservient to an appalling male character. So the book that I'm thinking of in my head, I just couldn't understand why the main female protagonist would go along with this ridiculous man's desires and ways and wants of doing things. Now, I understand that sometimes in a narrative, from a narrative perspective and a storytelling point of view, that is necessary in terms of a grander character arc, but I just didn't feel it with this one. So this is, I might not have thrown it across the room. I might just have gone, bleh. I suppose it's a small throw, isn't it? Yeah. I think, but I mean, that book won loads of awards. So what do I know? But again, it's all subjective, isn't it? What is the worst reason to become an author, and what is the best? Worst reason would be to become filthy, stinking rich. Yeah. Whenever I go into schools, I always get asked, where's the Lamborghini, sir? Not out there. I don't got one of them. So yeah, I think you can make some people do make obviously massive amounts of money doing this, but if your reason for getting into writing books was to become rich, you're best off going the lottery route. And what is the best reason to become an author? Oh, that is job satisfaction. I get up every day and I take my kids to school, or Mrs. Parker takes the kids to school, and as soon as the coast is clear, I put my Jimmy Jams back on and make some coffee and write stories. It's just the best. I can't put it better than that. And then sometimes people will get back in touch with you and say how much they liked a book of yours or a story you'd written or whatever, and that just means everything. It just means absolutely everything. So job satisfaction, job enjoyment is absolutely mega. Absolutely mega. And I realise how lucky I am in saying that. Who or what is your spirit animal? Spirit animal. Not 100% sure, really. I like wild cats, not domestic cats. They're creepy, kind of creepy. Sorry for cat lovers out there, but they can be quite creepy. Spirit animal. What am I most like? I've got kind of a rubbery face, haven't I? So, what animals have a rubbery face? Like orangutans have got quite rubbery faces, but I think maybe I like owls. Actually, owls. Yeah, got big eyes, so me and owls could be, spirit animals together. Maybe an owl could be a spirit animal of me. I don't know. Anyway, how long did it take to complete your latest novel? 2 years. I wanted to make sure it was authentic, so I did a deep dive on the research, and whoo-wee, that was interesting. What is your favourite thing to do to procrastinate from writing? Procrastination is part of the job. A lot of the time I find myself staring out the window, much like what I'm doing right now, and even though it looks like I'm not doing anything, the cogs are whirring, the gears are ticking over, and something's jarring loose, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to get there. But if I'm struggling and it's just procrastination for procrastination's sake, a quick change of scenery usually does it. And for me, it's usually nip over the road to the pub. I know that probably tells a bigger story, but if I nip over the pub and order a pint of beer and have a little chit chat in an atmosphere that is dead relaxed, and I've changed scenery a little bit and it's taken my mind off it, usually, and I'll have my laptop with me, usually it'll just boing, jar something loose, and then suddenly I'm able to write again. So, change scenery, and just do small changes, take a couple of minutes, whatever works. There's no ironclad process to any of this. You just do whatever gets the words on the page, because you can fix them when they're down there, but you can't fix them when they're up here. So, yeah. What advice do you wish someone had given you when you started out as a writer or author? It's one that all writer authors who get there will learn the hard way, but it's don't ever give up. Believe in yourself. Don't ever give up. There will be so many people who want to knock you, or don't take you seriously for what it is you want to try and do. Writing a novel is hanging yourself out to dry all the time, but believe in yourself and don't ever give up. It was a bit heavy, sorry. But I wish someone had said that to me when I was first starting out, and then, because you do get, like I said, the raft of rejections, But once you realise you're not going to give up, you don't care. I mean, that's why I stopped counting at 250. You just don't care anymore. It's just more. Right. It's almost nihilistic. What's the most creative thing you've done to promote or market your books? I've never done anything daft like wear a costume or anything like that. I think I've done location tour videos. I really like doing those. So I'll go and do a video in various locations that the books are set. And other stuff would be I've done giveaways in those places, like a hashtag giveaway. So I've put a book in a secret spot somewhere at a location in one of the books, and on Twitter I've said, hashtag name of the book. There's a copy here. First to find it gets to keep it. That kind of thing. So yeah, I always enjoy doing those. But anything, I mean, with social media now, you can engage with people so quickly. So yeah, just anything engaging with people is a good thing, and I'm game for. So watch this space. I'm sure I'll do something really stupid. Who's been the most difficult character for you to write? The easiest? The most difficult character? That's really interesting. I think the most difficult is I'm trying to write a children's book at the moment, directed at 8 to 12-year-olds. I suppose that's middle grade authors, middle grade books. Sorry. So I think that's so hard to get the voice right for, especially when you've been writing, crime for an adult audience. It's really difficult to get that voice right. And my respect for, children's authors, middle grade authors, YA authors, and everything in between and around that, I just have the biggest respect for, because kids are so smart. They know if the voice is wrong. They'll know straight away. So, definitely writing from the perspective of a 9-year-old, which is what I'm doing in this work in progress. Yeah, that is really, really hard. So it's constant rewrites. And the easiest would be, I think, it would be Ben Bracken, really. That's the first character that I wrote sort of first person perspective of, or from, sorry, I should say. So, yeah, Ben Bracken would be the one. In a lot of ways, if I'm like cruising down here at like a 4 or a 5 on the dial, you crank that up to 11, 12 maybe, add a dollop of self-righteousness, add a scoop of giant cojones, and you'll get Ben Bracken, give or take. So yeah, you just, just dial me up, way up there, and then I kind of find that quite easy to do. Is there any significance or symbolism behind the names of your characters? How do you choose them? There isn't any. There isn't any at all. Sometimes I will go as simple as putting a load of bits of paper with first names on in a hat, and bits of paper with a surname on in a hat. This is really breaking down the magic of writing books, isn't it? But just pick them out and then look through like, oh, that doesn't work. That does. Oh yeah. And suddenly you've got, a wowie zowie character name. So yeah, I don't spend much time doing it, but I think sometimes you end up coming across something that sounds, with a bit of playing, something that sounds like kind of lyrically appealing, maybe. But that's just a really grand way of saying it sounded quite good. So yeah, if it sounds good to your ear, usually that'll be enough for me. Do you have a secret for handling? Yes, I love this question. Do you have a secret for handling bad book reviews? And yes, what is it? Yes, I do have a secret. Let me go have a look around here. Where's it gone? Oh yeah, I mug them. I know that sounds ridiculous, but look, I make 1-star mugs. Look, they've been here's another. They've been overused to the point of the handles have fallen off, and now they're glorified pen mugs, really. But yeah, if you have written a 1-star review, because it must take, I can't picture going on, and writing a 1-star review and being really nasty about it. If you didn't like something, that's great. I literally don't care. Obviously, he says holding his 1-star review mugs, but I don't care. It's just, because I would never ever say that my work is like, or my books are art, but I suppose writing novels comes under the gamut and spectrum of artistic endeavour, and art is just completely subjective. You can't force everyone to like everything. So yeah, if you don't like it, that's absolutely cool. I don't mind at all. But if if you go that extra mile and you want to go on like internet on the internet and say, I mean, if you want to say nasty things about someone who's tried really hard to do something, you you must be really trying to hurt them, really trying to ruin their day. But not with me, because you end up on a 1-star mug. Look, 1 star, not bad. 1 star. This book is both boring and makes no sense. Don't buy it. The story is not a page turner. Plus, it is in boring England. Marvellous, isn't it? Oh, 1 star, just don't. Complete tosh, getting more and more ridiculous by the page. Laughable. Marvellous, isn't it? So, yeah, if you thought you were going to ruin my day, oh, bless you, you just end up on a mug. And this guy got his own mug because it was a 300-word diatribe from another author. But I think he loves me, really, I guess. Anyway, bit of fun. Right. If you were being shipped to a deserted desert island and were only allowed to bring one book, what would it be? Why? How hard would it be to choose? It wouldn't be hard at all to choose this. It would be... Jaws by Peter Benchley. This is my most prized book possession. It's just, I just adore this book. Not great, actually, for a desert island, is it? Surrounded by water. But, I can reread this over and over and over and over and never, ever get bored. And it will constantly find new ways to surprise me. And it's the first book for adults, as it were, that I read at the age of 12, and it blew me away. And it's the book that made me want to be a writer, because at that stage I never read anything so heart-pounding, so visceral, so urgent, so it just had everything, and I'd never ever forgot, the first time I read it. So that would be Jaws. If you have pets, what do they think about the time you spend writing and not lavishing them with attention? I mean, we have a hamster, but I don't think she really cares. Used to have a rabbit, and it didn't like me at all, because, well, it was a boy rabbit, and it had a thing. It's ridiculous, but it wouldn't let me near my own wife. It was very possessive of her, this big boy house rabbit. So whenever it would, see me even approaching my wife, it would scratch me a bit. So it's no longer with us. Moving swiftly on. I didn't kill it. If you could choose, would you have your novel adapted as a film, television show, miniseries, graphic novel, or video game, and why? Yes, to all of the above, absolutely. With the Ben Bracken books, we've had I think 6 meetings now with I'm not going to say any names, but a company that's associated with that kind of thing. And there is a feature film script written for the first book, and there is a pilot and sort of series of episodes mapped out for a 8-part TV series as well. And it's gone a bit cold for a while now, but because whenever you hear this, a lot of authors will go through a similar thing, I think, when there's interest in one of your properties, and then it suddenly just goes cold, and they're on to something else and something new, and it's cool while it lasts, but but we just couldn't get them over the line, just whatever reason, we just couldn't get them to say yes. So nothing at the minute, but watch this space. But yeah, I mean, I've always written from a very I love movies, so I've always written from a very visual standpoint. And I started out as a screenwriter to begin with, so um, I then transposed those skills over to writing a novel. So yeah, definitely, always write with image in mind, especially because you want to be painting images in the mind of your readers. So yeah, always. Let me just move this up. Have I ever been embarrassed to tell someone that I'm a writer or author? I did originally because it was my absolute dream job to be an author, and it has been since I was a little boy. So, well, no, there's a brief flirt with paleontology, um, but I'm going to go back to that later. Um, so yeah, I think that yeah, certainly when I at the beginning, because you don't feel like you've earned it. Like even when I was self-published, I had this thing in my head that I wasn't a writer or an author, when in fact you absolutely are. If you've put the work in and put the, how many people, you'd be amazed how many people come to me, like for example, bumping into them, in the shops, and they know what you do or whatever. It happens a bit because I go into schools, and a lot of the kids, when we're in the shops or whatever, go, "Oh, there he is, there's the author guy." So. And then the parents will come to me and go like, "Oh yeah, I'm a writer myself," and I'm like, "Amazing! What have you been doing? What have you been writing?" And then they say, "Oh no, it's all up here. It's all up here." You might have the best novel in the world. You might be one of those, 0.5% of writers out there who make it mega rich doing this, but it's not going to do anything when it's in here. You've got to get it down. You've got to get it down. So anyone who does get it down, regardless of how you've got it down, you deserve the absolute maximum respect, and you are a writer. So yeah, I think it was by the time I got to my 4th or 5th published novel that I finally felt comfortable enough to say that I was an author, even though I'd been doing it full time for 3 years by that point. Yeah, it's a funny old game. What was the most difficult scene in any of your novels for you to write? How did you manage it? My agent said to me, "Rob, we really need Ben Bracken to have a romantic scene. We think that's what the series needs, what the books need, and whatever." And as much as I wanted to fight that, I, gritted my teeth and went for it. I really have no interest in writing love scenes or sex scenes. But I'd been asked to write one, so I did, and I managed to do it with, so much cringing, so much rewrites, taking it very steadily, a few words here, a few words there, take it easy, have a step back, look at it again. If anything felt like icky to me, get that out of there. Because it just took ages to get it there. Because the last thing you want to end up on is the Guardian's bad sex list in literature, and end up having your ideas about sexual relations being picked apart by those dudes like Luca Veste and Steve Kavanagh on the Two Crime Writers podcast. That would be all at once an amazing accolade, but at the same time soul crushing. So yeah. So sex scene. Don't want to be doing that. What do you prefer to read when you're in the middle of writing a novel? Absolutely anything that will inspire me. So I'll go to my faves when I'm writing. When I'm in the midst of it usually takes me about 8 weeks to write a first draft. And in that period, I'll try and read as much stuff that is from my favourite authors as I possibly can. So, I've grabbed a few down here, but so this is in absolutely no particular order, and I'm definitely going to have missed a lot of people out. But Brian Freeman's Jonathan Stride series, anything from that. Meg Gardner's amazing unsub series. Anything by the main man Adrian McKinty. I've got the Dead Yard here because I think that's my favourite of his books. Andrew Main's The Naturalist series, that is so good. I absolutely love that. The Poacher's Son, Paul Doran, that's the first in the Mike Bowditch main Game Warden series. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love that series. Ian McEwan, if I'm fancying a bit to being a bit more poetic and lyrical, But his unique turn of phrase always gets me thinking and going. Mr. Winslow here, I don't need to say much about Don Winslow. This is the kind of writing that makes you want to, like, oh, how does he do it? How does he do it? In fact, actually, I might have to stop reading Don while I'm writing because it puts you off. It's that good. Anything by Dennis Lehane? I've never known how to say that. But, again, just amazing crime books. What we're learning here is there's quite a few American set books. And this actually harks back to me wanting to. I always like to read about, for pleasure, places I've never been before, places I might never go to, scenarios and scenes and characters that I might never witness, meet. And so I love to visit places I've not been. So, for example, here, Boundary Waters. This is William Kent Kruger. His Corker and O'Connor series is so good. So good. Anything by Mo Hader. Please bring out another Jack Caffrey, Mo, please. And again, I kind of like creepy stuff too. So Michelle Paver is just amazing. She is incredible and one of the most reliably brilliant, spooktastic authors out there. Seriously. Andrew Piper. I really like anything he does, but particularly like The Wildfire Season. Oh yeah, anything by CJ Box. CJ Box is absolutely, he's absolutely the man. This is the most recent in the Joe Pickett series. Superb. And just for pure inspiration constantly, in making you want to be a better writer all the time, James Lee Burke. Sensational. And on top of that, I've actually got some other ones here because there's also, there is Ace Atkins too. Ace Atkins' Quinn Colson series is superb. So I think I'm going to save that for a moment because then I know the next question is sum up the essence of your latest novel in one single word. So if I can conjoin the two here, Steph, I hope that's all right. I'm really mangling what you've asked me to do here, but sum up the essence of your latest novel in one single word, and that will be, this would be for Crook's Hollow, and I would say tribute, because I absolutely love and fell in love with and have fallen in love with the grit lit genre that we don't really have over here in the UK, but is such a source of inspiration to me over in America. And what I love about these books is their unique sense of place and sense of place to the point that the place itself is a character in the books. And there's something about these places that keeps people there. And because they're so close knit, it boils the drama to such a fine essence. And I just love them to bits. And so it's hard sometimes to get your hands on certain grit-lit novels out here, but in doing so, I tried. So Ace Atkins isn't really, I don't know whether Ace would fall into grit-lit. I'm not sure I'm not sure, but this hugely inspiring and definitely inspiring in the Crook's Hollow book. So these are books that inspired me to write Crook's Hollow, essentially, because, like I said, tribute to Gritlit, really. And I was absolutely delighted when, Steph, thank you so much, when you coined the term Grit-lit. Just made my day. But yeah, Steph, your own books, the Judah Cannon series here, and A Tree Born Crooked. If you haven't read these guys, come on. These are amazing. Just get it sorted out. And Holding Smoke, the third in the Judah Cannon series, is coming in January. Michael Farris Smith, Desperation Road, just superb. But there's just so much. There's so much character, so much heart to a book like that. The main man, David Joy, Where All Light Tends to Go. David was very kind in reading Crook's Hollow and said some really nice things about it. So, for these words to come from people like you, Steph, like David, in that I was actively sort of putting my own spin on the kind of thing you were doing. I was so delighted. Joe Lansdale's The Thicket. Again, superb. I've got a bunch of Daniel Woodrell books just here. Anything by Daniel Woodrell. I mean, Winter's Bone would be the one. That is just, I mean, look at it. It's a mere slip of a book, but what a book that is. Good grief. And I forgot up there. Let me grab it. These shelves are ridiculous, by the way. There we go. They're from a mobile library. So you see they're on a slant, so that when you go around corners, they don't tip out. Yeah, Wiley Cash, A Land More Kind Than Home. These books all add so much to me, and appeal to me so much. So yeah. Oh, and any recommendations? Anybody out there? Tell me what I should be reading. Please tell me what I should be reading, because I adore. So all these books here, they're all part of the big, grand melting pot of inspiration, and all the stuff that went into Crook's Hollow. Steph, I'm so sorry. I've probably rambled on for about, I don't know, half an hour here, but I've loved it. Those questions were amazing, and I hope you don't mind me doing a video. But Crook's Hollow is out now. That's by me. Holding Smoke is out by Steph Post in January, from Polis Books. And you've got to get onto her work, seriously. Thanks for everything, and got some cleaning up to do. Cheers. Bye.